Hi, I'm Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Beleaf Mel.
And we're here with episode 51 of
How Married Are You?
Is Beleaf, is the male short for melanin?
Melanin.
Beleaf melanin?
Beleaf Melanin.
I never knew what the male was for.
Yeah, Beleaf Melanin.
Why'd you spell belief that way?
Because belief has the word lie right in the middle of it. The actual word.
So you just misspelled it?
No. You know what I'm saying?
I don't speak that over my life.
Yeah, gotta take the lie out of it, add the leaf, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more holistic, you know, and natural.
All right.
That's why I don't do diets, because the word die is in it.
Oh.
I do eat it.
That was a good one. Okay, so we are here. You guys may notice that the set is pink, but it's a little different.
Yeah.
We have with us Mr. and Mrs. Fredericks, or
Hello.
I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
I'm Kevin. This is...
Melissa. Miss Kev on stage.
We are the stages. Kevon and Melissa. Miss.
Yes, we are so glad to be here. We just recorded a podcast on their platform, The Love Hour, and it was a very great conversation.
It was a great conversation.
Deep conversation on just life as an influencer in depth, and I feel like there was some healing that happened during that.
We became friends.
Yes.
You didn't even know where her shoulder was.
Yeah.
You were like, where's your arm?
Let me do it again.
And of course, we worked together on the Spectrum commercial.
We did.
Back in June 26th.
I can't believe that was already like 3 months
I know,
ago. It
that
feels
is
like
kinda
we just
crazy.
shot that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Thanks for the reco.
Oh my gosh. What a terrible line. And the thing is, I was talking so bad about the line. When I was mic'd up, they were like, we got to change it. Because I was saying the whole time, it's like, no one says this.
Yeah, it did make
Oh,
sense.
they heard you?
Yes, and they
I
were
didn't
like,
realize
yeah,
they heard
we
you.
heard you talking. We're going to go ahead and change it. I didn't realize I was mic'd up. I was saying all types of
Yeah.
stuff.
But it is a weird way to say recommendation.
Nobody says it.
Thanks
No
for
one
the
in the world.
reco.
It's not a thing.
Wait for the reco. When I was auditioning, I was like, "What? What is a reco?"
You just
I thought it was
went
like a
along with
cable thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
this is set talk. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah,
kind of
talk,
behind the
set
stage
talk.
there. Behind the stage there. So, babe, you want to go into chocolate? Oh, we have Uzi here.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, babe. Do your thing.
Do you want to introduce us like we usually do, or just let
I
it
mean,
be?
I think it's, let's just let them shine. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a segment at the beginning of our podcast called Chocolate Baby Storytime, because our followers, they love us, but they love the chocolate babies more. So we usually share a story about our kids that is funny or not, and that's it. So you guys have some chocolate babies of your own.
We do.
Chocolate baby. Is it okay if they're caramel complected? Are they still considered chocolate baby?
Yeah.
Zay's for sure chocolate melanin. JoJo is borderline caramel.
Okay, well, we'll take a caramel baby
They're
story.
Twix together. They're brothers.
Yeah,
They're
they
Twix.
I love it.
Caramel babies story time.
Caramel babies.
Man, they haven't been babies in so long.
I know.
too.
Yeah. Tell us how old your kids are.
Our oldest is 13 years of age. Our youngest just turned 11 years of age.
Like 3 days ago.
Last week, last Thursday. And what's just a great story, a funny story of any time in their life?
Any story.
Any story. You could talk
story that
about,
comes to mind.
your hand issue.
Oh, okay. At my caramel baby's birthday party, I was trying to be a father that's, engaged in their son's life. We took him to an indoor soccer thing. I find it's funny that he plays soccer. So 3 times a week he plays soccer, either practice or game, sometimes more. And for his birthday, he wanted to play more soccer.
He wanted to play more soccer.
Indoors with
Wow.
his same soccer team. Essentially, it was like a practice
It
scrimmage.
really was.
But it was fun for them. So at the end of the soccer game, they were playing dodgeball. We were playing dodgeball. And at the beginning of the dodgeball, they put all the balls in the middle. You go to far, and you run up far into the area, and then you run up and grab the ball. So I ran up, grabbed the ball, they blow the whistle. I'm trying to hit Greg with the ball. I
My
grab it.
brother-in-law.
Oh, yeah, brother-in-law Greg.
Because they're super competitive, and everything that they do, they attempt to cancel each other out.
Yes.
Okay, so he was for real.
We're all,
okay,
everybody's
But
for real.
Greg is going after Kev too.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
this is their unspoken, it's not even unspoken. This is their spoken, well-known competition that they have with one another.
Got it.
Yeah. So I go to throw the ball at Greg, and I go to pick the ball up, and I just slip and fall.
Ooh.
And as I'm falling, my arms flail, and I end up smacking one of the kids in the face with my hand.
Ooh.
And he's a little light kid. He was like the nougat of the Milky Way. And his face is so red.
It's so
And
red.
I feel so awful. And the
man.
kids are like, what happened? He's like, oh, it's JoJo's dad. I'm like, dang, did he sock? It looked like I just punched him in the face, but I just really fell. and hit his hand. So this poor kid's got a big old ice pack on his face for the rest of the party.
With man hands.
With man hands smacked across.
It was pretty bad. I felt so bad. So of course I'm stuck like texting his mom, making sure she's fully aware. And you know, he's trying to be tough, but you can see that like his eye is starting to swell up.
It's tender.
Yeah. And so he's like, I feel better. Can I go play? No, sir, you cannot.
You done.
He might have a concussion.
Sit right here for the rest of the party.
Yeah.
Because what we're not going to do is have you get hurt again, and your mom is looking at me like, why in the world would you let my baby go out there and play again?
Yeah.
Right.
So that was actually not it was a flawless party outside of this one incident.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our chocolate baby ambush story time.
What about
Do you have one? Or
Oh, do I have one? I was piggybacking off his. I'm trying to think of. I have one with Joe. So the same son that just had the birthday party. He has managed to read me his entire life. Like he just has this moments where he says things, and I'm just like, first of all, stop talking. So he does this all the time. So like 2 weeks ago, I picked him up from school, and I asked him, what are you learning in history? And he said, the past.
Wow. That is
He's
brilliant.
been getting on her his whole
life.
If you go through her Facebook memories, it's nothing but him shading her
my whole life.
Over and over.
He has these moments his entire life.
Now, is that something that you do to other people and it's just coming back?
I don't even think I'm that like quick-witted that way.
Oh, wow.
It's probably Kev and more of just his like personality anyway.
Definitely his temperament.
Because he's been like that his whole. I remember even one time when he was much younger, and I'm like in my room and he's looking for me. So he's like, "Mommy, where are you? Mommy, where are you?" And I'm steady saying, "I'm in here. I'm in here. I'm in here." And he says, "Well, if I knew where in here was, I wouldn't keep asking you where you are."
Goodness.
Yeah,
How do you respond to that? You kind of like.
So the thing about it is like,
you're adult.
Low key, you're right.
Yeah.
Like I really should say I'm in my room or I'm in the bathroom, so you know specifically, instead of just I'm in here. Like really, but also stop talking.
Yeah.
Because I'm the adult.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
But do you think he knows he's being witty, or
No?
Yeah, I feel like he might be one of those kids that's just like, well,
Yeah. What did I say?
This is the obvious.
You asked. I'm learning history. Do you know what history is? The study of the past.
yeah,
Why are we still talking about this?
yeah.
You got one, babe, or I got one?
I had one just now and then it slipped. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this morning we were
Oh, I know
leaving.
what mine's is.
This morning we were leaving, and we were coming up here to be on this amazing podcast called The Love Hour. Check it out. And so we get up. We're about to leave out the door. Uriah, the middle child, comes downstairs. He gives me a hug, and then he goes, and then Theo comes along, and he's like the snitch. Like he's the one that's always telling. You know?
6'9".
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's singing. So he goes, you know what Uriah said? He said that, what did he say, babe? What did he say?
He said, I don't like mommy, or
Yeah, he said,
mommy's never gonna give me a hug.
yeah, mommy's never gonna give us a hug. And then Theo was like, and you, yeah, it was like,
I'll tell my
yeah,
side
you know, mommy's never gonna give us a hug, and he said that she's the worst.
Oh, he said that.
Yeah, he said mommy's the worst.
Oh my!
And so in the middle of Raya having this thing going on, whatever he's dealing with emotionally, because he's a high emotional child, Theo thinks he's winning because he's telling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I had to tell him. And so Yvette was like, why would you tell me that? Like, now you're messing up my morning and you're betraying your brother. You know?
Right.
And so I think he just kind of had a dose where he was just like, I don't know. And I was confused for him because I was like, we want him to tell us when things are wrong. Well, also, we don't want him to lose trust with his brothers and sisters because that's your fan base. Like those are your people. Those are people you trust. And so if you lose influence with them, you're not going to have any friends because we going to get you in trouble too. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was just one of these weird situations where I was trying to encourage him, but at the same time be like, dude, like, don't be a snitch. You know what I mean? And I kind of felt bad because, you know, Yvette's doing everything. She's getting the kids ready. She's getting herself ready. She's coordinating the babysitter. And I got like one thing to do. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to get into that. You know, that's not what we're here for. But she was handling stuff, and he just totally like took advantage of her emotions. And
because what happens is the kids are not. We have this special clock in their room where in the morning they don't come out until the clock turns green at 7:30. Okay. And so it was before 7:30, and I was trying to get stuff done, and then he tried to come downstairs, and I was like, "Go back to your room."
Yeah, we don't want to talk before that.
Yeah, man.
And so he got,
Back in
I
your
guess he got
cage.
his feelings hurt. And I feel bad, but it was just, see, that's why we had to hire, well, that was a, go back and watch on our podcast. But that's why we had to hire a nanny, because it's like, I need them to be doing that stuff, so I don't always have to be like, okay, go away. Like, get out of the way. Type situation. But yeah, my
Magic
chocolate
clock is such a good idea. I like that idea.
I want to go back.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We know
Don't
people who
water.
put toilets inside of the room.
They put the little
Like
potties
potties?
in there so the kids don't come out. I think that's a little much.
Yeah,
but
that is a
What's
lot.
the potty in their own
Potty
room?
in their own room.
Don't
Just-
even go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
they're like, don't come out of this door.
I mean, that's a bit much for me, but low key, I get it. Because
Yeah.
once the kids are awake,
Yeah.
the day started.
It's
Yeah.
off to the
And
races.
so just to have that, like,
Just
if
moments.
I decide to get up at 6:30, just give me an hour
Yeah.
to like get myself together, maybe even shower alone, do whatever I have to do before my day gets started with you guys.
And you're attacked.
yeah, that's great.
'Cause once the kids are up, it's
a
all
done
systems
deal.
go
It's
until
over.
bedtime.
Yeah.
It's over.
Babe, what's just chocolate baby
Okay, so yesterday I was sitting on the couch. So Anaya's been doing really good. Like, I thought, Anaya's our second youngest.
The girl?
The
Yeah,
girl.
no, only
So
girl.
she's the third born,
only
and
girl.
he's the fourth.
Uh-huh.
And so a lot of concern was about her being jealous of Uzi when he's born or whatever. And she's actually been doing pretty good.
Mhm.
And so recently, though, she's been really like, Mommy, what's going on? Or like, if I put Uzi down, she's just right here. She's just there. So yesterday I was nursing Uzi, and we were having this moment. And when I'm at home, I'm just out and open. And so I was nursing Uzi, and she comes right here on my shoulder, and she's just there. And then she's kind of looking at Uzi, and then her hand like
Slides
is
down your boob.
just on my breast. And she's like, "You have nice boobs, Mom." And I was like, this got real.
Oh yeah,
Man.
I see what Glen was into over there.
like,
huh? That's why you guys keep popping us out, ain't it?
I was like, okay, well, this is just for Uzi right now.
Can we just talk about kids' compliments for a
Man,
minute? Because
you got a
sometimes
nice rap
you'll just
there,
walk
Mom.
around and my son will go, "I like your red underwear, Dad." You know what I'm saying? Or like when he was 2, he'd be like, "I like your nipples." Like they
What?
they like to they are exploring bodies.
They
They're
are,
trying to
and you
figuring it
shouldn't
out.
shame them.
Yeah,
We
and you
learned
just
about
gotta take
this.
it. You just
Yes.
If my son said I like your nipples, get out of here, son. These are mine.
That is us imposing our
Weirdness
Yes.
about it.
weirdness
Exactly.
and shame that we've internalized on our kids,
Oh
and
my
we shouldn't.
goodness, we should be talking about them about raising boys, because that's my problem. Is
Oh my
when
gosh.
I'm like, wait, am I still like really giving them baths, or am I done with this? Because I'm just uncomfortable.
How old are they again?
They're 5
5
and
and
6, 6 and 5, and 3 months.
Yeah.
Joey came out the shower yesterday because he forgot his towel and literally was just like, I forgot my towel. Boy,
Yeah.
do something.
So
Don't
what?
Little
just
yellow
come
booty.
outside
Get outta here.
fully
I'm like,
naked.
bro, get the.
Yeah.
He was like, and I was on the phone. I was like, man, get your little peanut out of here. He's like, why would you say that? I was just talking to Greg. Wait, would you say that? Why would you go in the bathroom without a towel?
But I felt the same. I'm like, this is like low-key inappropriate. You need to go put some clothes on.
Yeah.
I
you got
shouldn't
balls
be
and change.
seeing
Yeah,
all of
man.
this.
His butt was so yellow. He was like, boy, your butt ain't seen the sun in years. It
And
looked like highlighter.
and our 5-year-old, he's still like, he comes out of the bathroom with his pants down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does a walk or bunny hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, we don't have any more toilet paper in there. I'm like,
Ah.
get out of here, man. You just dropping little poop flakes everywhere when you jump up the stairs. Please go away.
I promise. I think that's only a thing boys do. When we grew up, I have 2 younger sisters, house full of women, and my dad, and we none of us did this.
Yeah.
Bunny
It's so
hopping out
different.
the, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of,
I'm like,
no,
I don't
no
know.
drawers on.
Wipe my butt.
Yeah. Go away. Anyway,
Okay, so we also have this segment on our podcast where we do words of affirmation. So we're going to words of affirmation is an opportunity for you to do what, babe? Go ahead.
tell
take
us what you think about the podcast, what you enjoying about the podcast. It really affirms us, and it gives us like, power and resilience to keep going and allow us to know like how we are actually serving you guys. So there's several ways you can do that. You can scroll down to in the show notes in the podcast, whatever podcast app you listen to, click the link there and it'll take you to Anchor. You can leave a voicemail. You can also follow us on Instagram at How Married Are You and send a voicemail through a DM. Also, we have a phone number. You remember that number, babe?
I do not have it memorized by heart.
But we're gonna flash it right on the screen if you're watching.
Yes.
And for anybody else, you'll hear an audio clip that comes in that says the number right now. Yeah, and so let's hop into these words of affirmation. If you'd like to send in words of affirmation, please hit us up at 760-335-6643.
Yo, what's going on, Beleaf? Yo, what's going on, Beleaf Tribe? I am JW, but my real name is Jordan. I am so happy to be a part to see you guys' development as a couple and as individuals, father and mother. I am just at awe to see how just everything just opened up for you as soon as you stepped out in the call.
To the beat, y'all, and you don't stop. A freak, y'all, and you don't stop. To the beat, y'all, and you don't stop. A freak.
How married are you is inspiration to me. I'm currently single. I do hope with the relationship I am in, it leads to marriage, but you know, God's will. But I just want to say thank you all for putting yourself on display and sacrificing your time and your life to inspire and to impact another. So mad love to you, and mad respect. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, thank you so much for those words of affirmation. So today we have Mr. Kev on stage and Mrs. Kev on stage. And we thought it would be fun because we admire. They also, let's let them plug their podcast. So they are the hosts of the Love Hour podcast, and so it's also another podcast about relationships and marriage and life and everything that they have learned, all the wisdoms that they have from living life.
Yeah, it's a podcast where we basically talk about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. Someone created this tagline that it's humor and healing because Kevin is quite hilarious.
I'm the healing.
And sometimes I be dropping nuggets God gives me on occasion.
Don't engineer smallness.
Hello. And it's basically, it started because we got married really young and we didn't know what the heck
we were 7 months old.
Sounds like 7 months pregnant. We were 20 and 21 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, we were really,
You know what's
really
weird
young.
about that? We did not feel young at the time we got married. We were the last people of our friends to get married and the last of our friends to have children.
Really?
So when we came to LA, it was like, oh my gosh, you guys are married but we were, everybody, all of our friends were married. Melissa's sister had a kid. My brother had 6 kids by the time we had our first kid.
My goodness.
Aunt was married with children. Like literally, our friends had all been married with children. And at 21 and 20, we were the last people to be getting married. And now when we go to pick up our sons, all the parents are like 45, 50. And they're like, man, you guys are so young, because we're 36 and our oldest is 13. And it's just so weird, the dynamics between Washington and here. And it's just so weird because people in LA do not be having kids.
Yeah.
People, we went to, when we first came, I'm not going to name the church, but we first came to LA, the church was like a casting call. Like people were all young and beautiful. It was like 800 people in the church and like 6 kids in children's church.
Oh my.
So it felt like, bro, where are y'all kids at? Because our church back home was like 200 people, 800 kids. You know what I mean? The kids have a mass choir. Like it's just kids everywhere. Like, so it was just weird that it didn't feel young when we got married.
Yeah.
It felt late.
But
I know
we were young.
I feel like you guys aren't that much older than us, and you have lived a lot.
How old are you
more
guys?
life.
I'm 34.
I'm 32.
Y'all just little babies. I got basketball shorts older than you. No, we're not that much older.
No, we're not that much older, but we've been married for 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Incredible, guys.
yeah, and so we basically, thank you,
Welcome.
talk about the honesty, and this is what you guys offer as well, just honesty and transparency.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of times when you're young and newly married, you would be having questions, folks don't be having answers.
Yeah.
Or they put the face on like they have it all together and they don't.
Yeah.
And so everybody's suffering in silence.
Yeah.
And so I found that the more transparent that I am, the more relatable that I am.
Yes.
And so that's what we offer is that transparency. Ministry and transparency is something I always say.
MIT.
And so we just hope to offer help and healing to other couples through our trials, tribulations, and transparency.
And you guys coined the phrase marriage champions.
Yes, we call ourselves marriage champions because we're not marriage experts, child. We don't have no degrees, no certifications, although I've been thinking about it here lately. But we don't have any like formal training. It's all experience in the Rhema word from the Lord.
And experience is, the greatest
great teacher.
I feel. But But one thing I do love about your guys' podcast is that it gives people so much permission to be honest about where they're at. You know what I mean?
What? I feel like that was the first step towards having a good marriage is when we realized we didn't have to copy other people's marriages.
Yes.
And we had to do what was right for us.
Mind your
Because
marriage.
early in our marriage, mind your marriage. That's good. You made that
That was
up?
good.
Yeah, that's me right there. That's
I remember like I
Bars.
was basically taking
That is
my
good.
pastor's advice verbatim and applying it to my wife. And his advice was for his wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I wasn't taking, I don't know if he meant to take it literally, but I was taking it like verbatim literally.
Yeah.
And the one thing that changed for us is the 5 Love Languages book.
Yes.
That's when I realized, oh snap, like his wife's love language was gifts. So it used to be like, buy her a gift and you get the draw. Amen. He understands me. So I kept buying Melissa's gifts and she would say thank you, but it didn't seem to move her like it moved his wife. And then another deacon, I remember I was in a men's group and I was telling them that my wife pays the bills. Like it just worked better for our family. And he was like, you ain't a real man if you don't pay the bills and this and that. Like, listen, you say whatever you want, but our family works better like this because it'd be overwhelming me. So once we started doing stuff that worked for us alone and we didn't ask for the input or approval from the outside world, that's when we started making some strides and like really getting our marriage together.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. And so with that being said, I feel like no better guest to have our first, these are our first podcast.
First guest.
Really?
Never had a guest
We've
before.
Y'all
never-
are podcast guest virgins?
We are.
Yeah.
PGVs?
Yeah. All day.
Yeah, we
coming
took
up
your
with all the
podcast cherry.
acronyms.
We got your podcast cherry and popped it.
Yeah. Just pop
Okay.
that thing. All right.
Ain't got no hymen now. That hymen gone.
Oh,
That is a myth.
All right, let's moving on.
Wow.
And so
It is.
that's why the first guest we're gonna have is on the advice segment of
Yeah.
our podcast. So you guys know on Tuesdays we take your dilemmas and we read them and discuss them. We really would like to hear them. Y'all are being shy with your voice. I think people just don't want
yeah.
their
don't wanna put
significant
themselves out there.
others to
Yep.
hear the voice.
They don't want any identifiable characteristics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyways, everyone's emailing us and that's totally fine. We accept those too. But we are going to just jump right into this
Yeah.
email. So Kev, I don't think you got to see the email.
No.
Melissa knows a little bit about it. So we're just going to do, I don't like to let Glenn hear the emails either. So
They just treat us wrong. Glenn.
here we
Yeah,
go.
we just out here.
Uh-oh. Is this the right one? So sorry. Okay, here we go. I am a 23-year-old woman currently single but being pursued by one of my male friends who is 27. We are both in university, but the difference is that I am graduating next year and he is only qualifying in 3 years' time. Hence, he will have no earning potential until then. He is kind and intelligent man who has been steadily pursuing me for the last few months. He is a good listener, and I haven't been with a man who gives me so much attention. I feel overwhelmed. There have been moments when we were intimate, but have never spoken about a sexual relationship. He has asked me to date him, but I declined. I am not physically attracted to him, but we do have a deep emotional connection. He knows I'm not ready for a relationship now, but he is still pursuing me. He takes me out and we hang out together, and I can tell that he is falling in love. I really enjoy his company, but he can be intrusive. He arrived at my place unannounced and acts like we are dating. It feels like he is trying to convince himself that we are an item. Since I have already told him I don't want to be in a relationship, how do I get him to give me space, but also not destroy our friendship, which I enjoy? Or do I ignore that I'm not attracted to him and pursue the relationship because he is genuinely a good guy?
That was a lot.
That was a lot. I don't know where you guys want to start.
I want them to go first.
Okay.
I want you guys to talk.
What sticks
Go,
out
Kev.
to you?
I'm about to pull it up because she sent it to me
Okay.
so I can go over points.
Don't go over while I'm talking and buy yourself more time.
Well, I want to make sure I go over the points.
Give ugly guys a chance, man. People don't want to let ugly guys win. We're nice. We're soft. It's tough. There's a lot of different things. I've been doing a lot of advice on my channel, and I realize people don't want to make people feel bad, even at the expense of their own feelings.
100%.
Like they don't want to be
Yeah.
awkward. They don't want to tell people the truth because
Yeah.
they don't want to upset another person.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you have the right to your own feelings, if you're unattracted to this man and being attracted to the person you're with is important to you, because a lot of times people aren't physically attracted, but the other stuff outweighs it and they start to like forget about that. But it doesn't seem like she's at that point yet. Just let him know, man. Like what you said in that email, say that to him. I feel like I have expressed clearly that I want to remain your friend, but I don't want to be in a relationship, I feel like you're not honoring that. And you're going to put our friendship in jeopardy by not respecting my boundaries. And if you want us to ever have a, don't jump in now, because you let me go first, so I get to say all the good stuff. If you ever wanted to be with me, one thing, even if we were an item, you would still have to respect my boundaries. So if you're not willing to respect them as a friend, how can I trust that you'd be willing to respect them as a partner, you know? And at that point, I feel like if you express that to that person, you are going to see what you're dealing with. They're either going to accept that criticism and adjust, or they're going to get upset and balk. And either way, you know what you're dealing with, and you'll be able to move on.
One of the things that you said that's so important that immediately stuck out to me is boundaries, but both sides. So she does need to establish and set those boundaries for him. But on the same token, if she recognizes this is as far as I want to go, then she might have to really set the boundary and maybe even end the friendship because he isn't respecting it.
Well, she did the intimacy too, though. So they did some sort of stuff. So
well, and that's what
maybe
she
wasn't respecting her own boundaries.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, she has ownership in those boundaries as well. It's not just I've explained to you I don't want to be with you, but also we can have sex.
Fool around, yeah.
I explained to you I don't want to be with you, but I enjoy your company, so let's hang out.
Right.
That's mixed signals. You're making this guy feel like, well, maybe there's a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Right. And that's not fair either.
Right.
So those boundaries have to be established and set and honored on both sides.
Yes.
Yeah, and he might be holding on to that because
that hope.
Yeah.
Oh, he got to touch something or do something one time. He and then what happens with men? When you let us do that, that's what we hold on to. And we be like, oh, she's saying this, but I remember that one time where she let me do this. And now she's talking about we just friends. You know, we're taught to push past your nose. You know, she playing hard to get and things like that. No, maybe you're hard to want. But we're taught to be persuasive, even beyond normalcy of respective boundaries. It's like you got to chase, and she's supposed to run away. So sometimes your clarity doesn't come across as clarity. It comes across as chase or interest, you know, or part of the mystery of the chase. And she wants to be wanted and all that type of stuff. So that's why I feel like it's very clear, and your actions must line up with your words. Yeah. If you're saying these are my boundaries, then that's with our time, relationship, and my body as well. So the more consistent you are with that, I feel like the better chance you'll have of being clear in everything else.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, like, sometimes you just be ugly, man, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I first got with Yvette, she kept saying things like, telling other people, like, yo, I never thought I would be with someone who had dreads or someone who was short or someone who, and I was just like, okay. And then her father was like, you know, he told me that at one point I had a metamorphosis that happened in my appearance. You know what I'm saying? Which,
was it the beanies? Did the beanies help?
No, it wasn't the beanies. I had hair at this point. You know what I'm saying?
When I met Glen, he had like full on dreads. And then his beard, he didn't have it like as tamed as it is now. It was just like, it was there. You could dread his beard.
Wow.
And so his swagger wasn't necessarily something that I was attracted to. I always imagined myself
You're Rastafari.
Like a Will Smith type.
Will
dude.
Smith?
Yeah.
She settled. But anyway.
You got Jeffrey.
No, I didn't settle, but I'll talk about go ahead. Finish
yeah, but
that.
I think that, like, just because you're not I don't know. I feel like you need to really think about what attraction is to you. Yeah. You know, because sometimes you be so sometimes you have to figure out what you're really attracted to. You know, I do feel like there has to be some desire, you know, because you can't settle. But the person who you marry isn't always who you're going to end up with. Yvette says this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
tell me what you mean.
Say that again.
Yeah, so the person who you marry.
Oh, I think I get it.
Right.
Say it. Explain
got
it.
I thought you meant a different person.
Yeah, I did too.
But
and
the
then
same person.
Yeah, because
got it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, well, it's like I married Glen. Like,
did he have the laugh?
Yeah, she's laughing. She's.
I think
did you just envision the way he used to look?
Oh my gosh, the way I used to look, the way I used to be.
It's
like,
not even. It's a lot. I mean, like the evolution of Glen Henry. Like, he has become like. I don't know if it's that I saw a potential of who he was going to become in him, and that's why I even entered into a relationship.
Sure.
Because when I think back about like why, would I even like
It's a
agree
bad
to
idea.
marry this?
It's a bad idea.
Why is she laughing in your face like this? But
It's true.
It's very like
What
when
were
I
you,
met
like,
Glen.
homeless?
No, like when I met Glen.
We're homeless?
So
Let
what-
them tell.
So
When I met him, he was making $500 a month.
$500 a month.
In California?
In
In California.
California.
You meet him in
Living
1912?
with his parents. I mean, which is not that bad at 20. How old were you? 23?
Y'all looking but it's just like
I know we are.
20. I was 23.
Yeah.
23.
$500 a month?
$500 a month.
And he had a loaf of bread, peanut butter, and honey in the trunk of his car. And that's what he like
Peanut
lived
butter honey
off of.
sandwiches, man, go hard.
What were you chasing?
Add bananas.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh yeah.
Ain't no money for fresh fruit.
And then he was like, I'm going to be a rapper. Like, I'm going to be a rapper. And I'm like, I'm Yvette Henry.
Yeah.
Like, I am a college educated woman.
Yes.
Like, and I no diss to anybody who doesn't, whatever. But yeah, it just wasn't a very likely partnership.
It made no sense on
made
paper.
no
and the
sense.
reason why I say this is because if my daughter was to tell me that she was gonna marry me,
the version of
me, I'd be like, oh, absolutely not. He don't got nothing to look forward to. What are you seeing in this guy?
This was you, Dad. Mind your
No,
business.
no. We're not talking about that.
But we
There we
will
go.
say this, and this is what I mean when I say like who you marry is not who you end up with, is because like he's grown so much. Like
This is such a great
He
word.
is a beautiful man. Like he's just gorgeous. Like not even
Has he
just
grown?
on his.
Or like as a personality wise.
Anyway.
And he's changed.
This way.
Oh, I'm soft around the middle.
This
But
way.
what I'm saying is like what I fell in love with is who he was. Like
Yeah.
not what he had or what he could give me.
Yes.
But I fell in love with who he was as like a man of God, as even just a human being. He was super kind and
Yeah.
loving, and he cared for my heart. Like it was everything else besides that. And then I became attracted to him later because like he's got like this Baltimore
It's hard.
swagger
It's
that
hard.
he
Yeah.
has.
It hurts just a little bit. Then I remember
No.
I won in the end. know
You
what I'm saying?
did win,
He
and
said
I
I
think that this
became
is
attracted to him.
No, I think that this is so lovely, so honest, and so transparent, and it is
Melissa, you have
very
something to
similar.
confess?
You better you lied to these people.
No,
he was
but-
a beautiful man.
But it also speaks to the tidbit that we talked about in the podcast. In that, in the Love Hour Live. Some things will stay the same and some things will change.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
just the
Yep.
truth of
Yeah.
marriage, and that who you think how did you just put it? Who you marry is not who
you'll end up with.
who you'll end up with. People change, people grow, people evolve,
Yeah.
and you have to be in it for the long haul.
Yes.
You have to be in it to ensure that you evolve and grow together. And that's what she basically just said. As you've changed, I've been able to fall more in love with
Yeah.
you. That is so sweet.
And come to find you attractive.
Hey,
mean, I
that's a
kinda-
win-win-win.
Also, you know what? It's funny because you're not who I married.
Absolutely not.
You were
This is literally, we talked about this in the Love Hour Live, this
Right.
exact point.
you're who I'm ending up with, but the way see, it sounds weird when Yvette doesn't explain it, but it is though. Like
Yeah.
a lot of your this is so we talk about this in the Love Hour Live too. People are always like, "Oh, you guys got married so young. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful," which it is. But the one drawback of that is that we were so young, we weren't even fully developed as people
Yeah.
yet. So the person you were at 21 and 20, like you're so far from that person at 36. But we had to do all that changing internally and while being a husband and wife and father and mother. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot to take in. As opposed to if you get married at 36, you're gonna probably be a lot closer to the person that you are gonna be in life than if you are at 21 or 20. You know?
Yeah, and so I wanted to talk about like what is the okay, so physical attraction, how big is that? Like I feel like she has to think about how important those things are to her. Because
Yeah.
it sounds like she's like, this isn't the type of guy I would usually go for, even though he's super nice. You know what I'm saying? Like he's super nice, he's sweet. It seems like she's saying I could settle for this and I almost want to because I don't know what else is out there.
Right,
So she's
right.
trying to put like this kind of partition or this moment and just say, you know what, I think I'm gonna just stick with this. I don't know.
That's a good question because I mean, I feel like I lucked out because I found Melissa very physically attractive,
Yeah.
and she's also gotten better with age. I don't know that.
Women generally do.
Yeah, I haven't gotten worse except the beard.
And that's new.
Yeah, new. That's relative. That's
Yeah.
like that happened right before we met you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard for me to tell somebody to be like, hey, just stick it out, kid. You know, ugly ain't forever. You know what I mean? Hopefully your vision goes poor and it doesn't even matter what they look like. You understand me? Cataract, glaucoma. You know, because I didn't have to deal with that. So I feel like I'd just be saying the nice thing. But I've seen a lot of people find, like, the thing is, a person, their attraction is them as a whole.
Right.
Because you can be beautiful, like, physically and just be a terrible person.
Yeah.
And your personality, your inner qualities can't outweigh your great looks. You know what I mean? So everybody knows a person who was beautiful in high school was just a terrible person in college or whatever. You're like, man, you are gorgeous or handsome, but you suck as a person. That won't even outweigh everything else. You know what I mean? So for me, like I say, I was lucky because a lot of Melissa's qualities match her outward beauty. But, you know, at the end of the day, even the most beautiful person, when you first wake up, nobody's fire in the morning.
Right.
We all just... You know what I mean? So if you can't love that person regardless of looks in the morning, it's going to be tough at night.
Yeah. And I think, too, like, this person really has to, you know, have emotional purity in this situation, because it seems like it's really one-sided. So she's getting her needs met emotionally, but she's like, you know, just like you said before, she's kind of playing this role with this guy.
It's a little can I say this? It's a little selfish.
Yeah.
Because you are getting your emotional needs met, and clearly he wants more emotionally from you that you're not willing to get. And so it's almost like stringing him along. Yeah. So you really do have to, again, just set those boundaries. One of the things you were just talking about in terms of physical appearance, how important is that? I think that's such an individualized question that she will have to figure that out. But obviously she's saying it's important to her because he got everything else check, but I'm not physically attracted, so I'm going to push back. You know what I mean? So she kind of is setting her priority by saying that's like a non-negotiable for me. Maybe she'd be willing to compromise on something else, but that's kind of a non-negotiable for her. Right. I don't know. But girl, you got to set them boundaries, girl.
Do you think she should end the friendship?
Well, she's saying, or do I ignore that I'm attracted to him and pursue the relationship because he is genuinely a good guy? So, like, I feel like, I don't know.
Do you guys think she should end the friendship? Because I feel like this is going to come back up. Like, if she feels
I feel like she should decide what she wants first.
And then move from there. I 100% agree.
Because just arbitrarily.
But be careful. Go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Be careful about moving forward out of obligation, because it's going to be a bad relationship anyway, and you'll ruin a friendship.
Okay.
I don't know. She requires, you called it emotional
purity.
I call it emotional honesty. She has to have an emotionally honest conversation.
I deny my emotions.
That was a good question.
That was a great question.
All right.
Do
you guys have any more last tidbits for anyone else who might be like, I'm not attracted to this person, but they are awesome?
I listened to a podcast about physical attraction, and I wish I can remember what they said, and I can't. Okay. So I'm useless.
It's okay. All right. So we have another email. Do you have anything, babe?
Nope.
Okay. We have another email, and it goes like this. Hi, Glen and Yvette. I love the words of affirmation, but I'm going to skip over it, guys. Okay, so I recently started dating this girl that I really like, but I've realized that she still maintains frequent contact and even makes plans with her ex of 6 years. We have been having problems because of this. It makes me feel very insecure and makes me think she has unresolved feelings for her ex. I really saw a future with her, but now I'm having second thoughts because it doesn't seem right, and she always gets defensive when I bring up the topic. I would love to hear your perspective on the topic, especially in the context of someone who's ready for marriage. Should I let my partner remain friends with their ex or ex-fleeing? I would really appreciate if you dealt with this topic.
They say they are in a relationship?
They are.
They are in a relationship.
He's considering marriage, or she.
He's like interested in marrying this girl, but she has frequent contact and even makes plans with her ex, who she was in a relationship with for 6 years.
Whew. I'm insecure too.
I think that that's quite honorable to recognize that like brings up a sense of insecurity. I love when people are able to acknowledge that. I think that's a fair assessment. I think that's a fair feeling, an honest feeling. And I think that, child, I would be insecure too. You got to cut that off. Y'all can't be they don't have kids together? So what business do you now have together? Seriously. Like, you guys didn't work out, and unless you have kids together, I don't understand. I guess I understand, like, well, we're just friends, but then that falls back into that gray area of old feelings coming up. You have a hard time deciphering, do I love you again? Like, that can get confusing in the mind. So, like, you got to cut that off.
Yeah.
I would be in the same boat as the person who wrote this. I would feel supremely uncomfortable with you having a platonic relationship with someone you used to be romantically involved with, because I would feel like those relationship feelings could come back up. You'd have to do some serious justifying to me why y'all need to be hanging out. You know what I mean?
Ain't no answer good enough for me.
Again, that's one of the things we haven't had to deal with because we got married so young. Like, none of our exes were really serious. You know, as the older you get, you know, you're 30 years old, 35 or whatever, it's highly likely that you have some serious relationships, and those feelings, Melissa said this in one other podcast, you have the unfinished business of loving someone. You know, just because you aren't together, those feelings do not just break apart.
Untangle.
They don't untangle. They're worse than headphones, you know?
And then add to that you're spending time.
And then you're spending time, you're delaying the process. You're delaying the rigor mortis.
I would be insecure because I'm like, why do you have, like what conversations are you having with someone of the opposite gender that you're not having with me? Or, like, how are you connecting with them in a way that makes me, like, that we aren't connecting? Like, they're probably feeling.
What are they supplying you that I
I'm
can't?
not. Yeah.
That you feel like you got to go and make plans. Y'all going out to I mean, my imagination's
so y'all
wild now. So y'all going out to the movies and eating dinner and texting and ha and having just having a good time. My nerves. Don't be having no side conversations and don't be having no inside jokes that I'm not a part of. No.
Yeah.
All your jokes better be outside.
Listen.
How do you feel about the tone of let? They are in a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, dating. You know what I'm saying? He wants to marry her. She obviously is not as speedy as him, but he says, should I continue to allow her? Like, what is that?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because it almost seems like he has a type of ownership.
Well, I think a lot of times people mean that, like, allow this to continue without intervening, or without saying something, not like prevent you from doing something like that. Like, do I let this happen without
what would be another word?
Instead of let?
Yes. I don't know another word that would get it. That's what I guess that's what I'm saying. I think let has can have different connotations, but context matters. And so I don't think there's a sense of ownership there as much as
it's like
let's the appropriate word to use.
Allowing it to happen without confrontation. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what they're saying. Yeah. And that might mean you still happen, but I'm just gonna say something about it. Like,
and it's important to say something about it because, listen, I've done this. I'm doing this now. There is a person in my life that I feel like she's in a passive aggressive competition with me. Literally every time I do something, they do it. Literally, like, to the point where I could be petty and I'll do stuff on purpose just to see the response, to just to confirm that what I believe is true. And so for months now, I am just an inspiration. Like, I should not be upset because I find inspiration. Imitation is the biggest form of flattery. Like, I find inspiration in a lot of places. Like, obviously, I'm just her inspiration and that's what it should be. Just recently, I was like, I am so irritated. I'm so mad because it's not inspiration. I feel like you're trying to jack my calling. I feel like what you're trying to do is be like, this is working for Melissa. Let me do the exact same thing and maybe I'll get the results she has. Are you in competition to me? You want my C-stat? What is it, Flash? You want to take my place, Flash?
Oh, girl,
like,
you're messing it up.
Child, you get the point.
You want my spot, Flash.
You want my spot, Flash.
You can't have it.
And so I literally got to a point where I was so frustrated because I wasn't being emotionally
Listen,
honest.
let me tell you something though. You said something. You're trying to jack my calling. You can't take somebody's calling.
I know, but it's still frustrating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
To see.
just know that.
I know.
Amen.
And I walk in that.
Yeah.
Like, to be
Huh?
clear, I do walk in that. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't make it. My honest feeling is
Yeah.
frustration.
Yeah.
For
My
sure.
honest feeling is
Yeah.
anger. My honest feeling is, how are you my friend and I feel like you're in competition with me?
Right.
That's my honest feeling.
Right.
So I say all that because you can try to be like, well, maybe they're just friends. Maybe it's no big deal. Maybe it's just create all of these excuses instead of just being like, this is making me insecure. This is making me crazy.
Yeah.
This is making me jealous. This is making, when you go out with them, my mind, child, it goes to all these different places and I'm creating all these different scenarios, and they may not be true, but I have to have this honest conversation with you because
Yeah.
we need to do something about it. You have to do that.
Yeah.
100% though.
Yeah, I feel like you have to protect yourself in this situation and know yourself. When Yvette and I first got together, I was like, I called friends, female friends, like, I'm so sorry, I can't call you and talk to you, because I had friends. I'd be like, yo, I love you, I'll talk to you later, peace.
To
But
women?
to women, like,
Glenn was like the friend zone guy.
whoa, wait a minute. See how we just get, you know what I'm saying, get attacked up here in LA. It's hot. Goodness gracious, babe,
Babe,
you're saying it wrong.
okay, am I saying
You
it
had
wrong?
You talking about two
dreads,
different
the
phases.
old beard. You was
I
in
was
the
musty.
friend zone
He
constantly.
stank. He had no
Peanut
car.
butter in the trunk. I helped him out of everything.
I want you to know, you've
I helped
done
her out
a
of the muck and
great.
the mire
I
clay.
do think that I fully
No.
understand who you were, though.
No. Okay.
Hey, I just want to be a rapper.
I was
not a
the
trapper.
I was the
understand me?
version of the previous person who I wasn't actually attracted to the women. I just had like a bunch of
friends.
really close friends who were sisters for me. You know what I'm
So
saying?
what I
Was
was
that by your
trying
choice
to
or
say,
their
can I
choice?
just
My
clarify?
choice.
Okay.
Can I
Go ahead.
clarify?
Go ahead. babe.
I feel like you were the guy in those women's lives who was meeting the needs that they weren't getting from like someone that they desired to be into.
But the good thing is, you also didn't want more from them.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to, but I
Yeah.
noticed that when they did get a boyfriend, I would like not get
no
calls
phone calls
anymore.
and stuff.
You know what I mean?
that's
So
what I
at
meant.
that point, when we got together, that's
You
all
had
I'm trying to say.
You had to do the same. Like, keep the main thing. The main
I'm
thing.
just trying to, you know
when
what I'm
we
saying?
was together.
I'm trying to
Oh,
speak
you got
my
a
truth.
man now?
I'm
All right,
feeling
I'm gonna
attacked.
let you go. Yeah,
I'm
good-
so
good-
sorry.
good-
I
have a
want to
good night.
hug you.
But
Okay.
I did I like ended, like I was like, yo, I can't be on the phone with you like that, because like now I noticed that I was trying to protect Yvette's heart, and like I didn't want her to
And
feel
their
insecure.
hearts, too.
You know what I'm saying? Like their hearts. Like I didn't want her to feel insecure about these other relationships, even though I know it wasn't no
Right.
it wasn't no fear or like
Yep.
competition or nothing. I just knew that for me, like I didn't want you to have any doubt in my mind that
my mind.
I was completely in your mind that I was completely committed to you.
I think that is so important, and all this is my own personal. Y'all can find me if you want to. One of the things that I have is, I call it the no-fly zone list. And there are certain people that make the list that I am like 100% uncomfortable with Kevin having interactions with them, period. There is something about this person that I am just like, no, not really comfortable.
We
and
don't
it's not a
even
long
talk
list.
anymore.
We've been together for literally 20 years. Since we were 16, we are 36 years old. 20 years. And there are probably, we just counted. Three people.
3 on the no-fly list.
3 people on the
America's most
no-fly
top
zone
wanted.
list. And I think that it is emotionally honest to be like, listen, not every woman. I'm not that person. I'm insecure about you being with any woman at
It
any
is
time
just
ever in life.
you.
I'm not saying that. But I think it is emotionally honest to be like, I don't know what it is about this person, but they make me feel uncomfortable, and I would rather you just not.
Yeah.
I think that those are emotionally honest
She didn't let me keep
conversations.
those
That's
lists.
discernment.
Yeah.
And so, child, they're on the no-fly zone list. Can we just not? And we have to have those conversations. And sometimes it's just, I'm insecure. Sometimes these are the specific reasons. And therefore, it's going to be a no for me. Like, but we have to have those conversations instead of trying to. I think earlier we were talking about people pleasing, where we don't want to say it out loud. We don't want to hurt feelings. We want to portray this. We want to portray that. They're friends. It's going to be okay. I don't want to stir the pot.
Yeah.
And then you are dying silently inside, creating these narratives in your mind. And for what?
Yeah. Yeah. At one point in our relationship, Yvette we were just getting together, and like we were hanging out, and then she said, "Hey, a couple of my roommates wanted to get together and watch a movie." From like not roommates.
They weren't my roommates.
The guys from college.
Okay.
Right. And this is gonna be a sore subject right here.
You don't have to say that.
I have to. Because I be So anyway, Yvette had never seen the movie. Yeah, I'm saying it.
All right.
He's committed.
Right. So Yvette had never seen the movie Friday.
Okay.
All right. No judgment. So these dudes were like, "Yo, you got to see the movie Friday." You know what I'm saying?
They had been bothering me since college, like all throughout college.
And then she graduated and got with me, and she's like, "I'm just gonna go watch Friday with these two random dudes." And I was like, "Oh, you are, huh?" "Oh, okay." Yeah, I just let you know I feel uncomfortable about that. So she had to ask her mother. She had to like kind of understand, like, because it felt like I was not allowing her or like giving her permission or something like that.
And they were really just friends. Like I never was like attracted to them in any way.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter if you're attracted to them. I'm like, they could be attracted to you.
I'm with that.
Yeah. So I was like, nah. And
No
I think
fly zone.
after a while, she got it. Like,
Yeah, I did.
It didn't take
So did you watch the movie with them or Glenn?
Glenn.
But just last year, she just said.
Oh, you didn't watch it at that time, then didn't watch it at all, and then
It just was never interesting to me.
Was it funny?
It was funny.
It's funny.
And now it's really sad because you know how people have all these like sayings.
And now you know where they
And
come
now
from?
I know where it came
Oh,
from.
bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
Okay.
It hurt so bad.
Hey.
That's
Oh,
funny.
Debo.
Yeah.
Ah.
I was like, oh.
That's funny.
So yeah, I'm now culturally accepted. Into
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yes. Is that it, babe?
Yeah, but I
What
actually.
did we say? Did we ask? Oh, go for it.
I wanted a question. I had a question because I feel like in one of our recent podcasts we had a conversation, and it was like, who's responsible for your insecurities?
Good question. Me and my sister just had this conversation the other day. Actually,
And,
it
yeah.
was a couple weeks
What
ago.
were your thoughts?
So it was twofold. We believe that we do have work to do because sometimes I'm trying to remember there was a specific. I know what it was. Okay. Dang. Now I got to tell Kev and Greg's back there too because it was his wife that we were talking about. So the scenario was that we are independent women. We don't want no help, right? And so anytime her husband helps her or he helps me in certain circumstances, I'd be like, I'm not no damsel in distress. Like, I don't need your help. Like, I got this. That's insecurity. For whatever reason, I don't want you to think that in the event something happens, I'm incapable. I want you to respect that I am a capable woman. Like, I got it. I want you to respect that. That's an insecurity because for whatever reason, I have this narrative in my mind that you don't respect me. And so to push that narrative, I have to exert my independence. Yeah. So it causes this unnecessary tension and sometimes issues that really shouldn't be issues because I'm too busy trying to show you how independent I am.
Yeah.
And so to me,
Open that
that's
pickle jar.
where I know I'm telling on myself.
Yeah.
And so I was telling
When
my
I came
sister,
home, we can't get into the pickles. Daddy, can you? And then I open it. It's because I loosened it.
I did loosen it, y'all.
You couldn't loosen it enough to open it.
I did loosen it.
Same life.
So anyway, to me, that is not something that he has to own. To me, that is work I have to do. That is something that I have to figure out why do I feel like this? Why has something happened? What inside of me makes me feel like I'm not respected and I need to show what I'm capable of? To me, that's work I have to do.
Yeah.
When it comes to other things, it's just a matter of me. Sometimes again, on my no fly, it's only 3 women. I don't want to paint myself as being super crazy, but sometimes I have to check myself and be like, okay, so listen, Melissa, do you want to add this girl on the no fly zone list? Actually, Anatomy of Marriage just said that. Are you hungry? Do you just have an attitude? Did she just step on your foot? Like, what are you upset about? Is it her? Is it me? Is it him? I remember not that long ago, Kevin and I were out of town. We were at a dinner. And I said something silly like how I was just trying to say the flash. You want my spot, flash, whatever the saying is. I be messing stuff up all the time. And so in the moment, I did something similar. I won't say the exact circumstance because I don't want to give the person to know what happened. So anyway, Kevin and the woman started jumping on me as a joke. And it went not 30 seconds, not a minute. It was like 3 minutes. So by this time,
That's a long time.
that's a long time. Listen, and not just a long time. It is a long time for your husband and another woman
To just keep
Yeah.
high-fiving.
to jump on me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So by the end, in the moment, I am irritated, but I'm trying to play it off.
Ooh.
So again, this is my emotionally honest. Like, I'm not going to let this go. This is my people pleasing. This is my Melissa 2.0. It's all of these things. So I tell Kevin, not even that weekend. I wanted to make sure we had a good weekend. We finished what we had to do. So like, as soon as we got home, I think I was like, so listen, this is a moment to me. It's not about her. It's not about him. This is about how I feel. But my emotional honest is to tell you, don't you ever, where we're at a table and it's just me, you, and another woman, and y'all two are jumping on me, it's unacceptable. That is not a connection you and a woman need to be making against your wife. That's an uncomfortable situation. Please do not allow this to happen again. That's an honest conversation that we had to have. Maybe that's insecurity. Maybe that's just the wife in me. I don't know what it is, but those are things that like you have to be able to, sometimes I need to work on me. Sometimes I just need to say it. And sometimes it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But this is who I am. This is what I'm saying. And we need to have those conversations. Maybe you push back, maybe you get it, but we have to have those conversations, because the more you try to conform into what you think you should be, the more strife, havoc, headache, heartache, resentment you're going to have internally, because you aren't being who you really should be.
Yeah.
I think it's really awesome too that you took the time to like not argue about it to get through the weekend.
Oh, that's the self-reflection though. That's the part where I feel like you have to, let me just take a beat, because I don't want to take up all your time, but just as an example, last night, all these people that are in this office right now, we were supposed to have a meeting this morning at 8:30. I sent out a call sheet that says, this is the time we supposed to meet. None of these fools in here looked at the call sheet. None of them. So late last night, Kevin calls me and is like, this person got to do this. This person got to do this. They can't be at the meeting. When I tell you, wasn't no beat. There was no, usually I am good about, let me gather myself.
Yeah.
And then in 24 hours, when I'm calm and I'm able to really decipher what's going on, what am I angry about? Not like the surface level. What am I truly upset about? Let me deal with that, and let's have a conversation about that. Let me have that conversation. I'm typically really good. Child, all caps. All y'all are trash.
She was probably typing
Ask
those
them.
texts so hard.
Ask them.
Oh my goodness.
All of y'all are trash, because y'all had this for how long, and these are commitments that are standing commitments. And now you're going to tell me at 8:30 the night before that you can't make a meeting that's been on your calendar for 3 days? Unacceptable, and it's inconsiderate.
She turned it to her mom.
Listen to me carefully.
I'm
Kevin,
terrified of you.
He was yelling at me. I was in the bathroom.
I called Kevin because I'm typing.
Yeah.
And I got sick of typing. So I was like, y'all finna hear me. I gotta type this. I'm finna go
Did
off.
you go to voice memo?
Listen. So I was gonna do that. I was like, no. So I called Kev. I literally, hello, put me on speaker.
Yelling.
Ain't no hello.
I'm in the bathroom.
Put me on speaker right now. Melissa, I'm in the bathroom.
No one is here.
I said,
I'm by myself.
no. He says, I'm in the bathroom. I said, well, I'll wait then. Melissa, they all left. Well, call them back. It's okay. No worries. Because I'm the one talking all.
We having fun. That's all.
Yeah, no.
I just want to clarify something real quick.
Yeah.
With that whole other woman thing,
Oh, go back.
I was just laughing.
You were probably on a roll. It was probably
guess
all
it was.
funny.
He wasn't just
Comedian in
laughing.
me overtook the husband in me.
And that's a balance I often have to fight. And I've even told Kevin, like, sometimes I don't want to be the butt of your jokes.
Yeah.
I want you to protect
there's
me.
only the joke.
Yes.
There's no
And the
recipient
joke
of
is joke is for everybody.
The joke is for everyone. I'm the joke sometimes. It's my turn. It's my turn.
It's your turn
And
to be a
now
good
I have
sport.
to realize, because when we're on tour and it's with amongst friends, there's no competition thing. You know, it's Melissa's not tripping. But you know what I'm saying? But this person wasn't. It wasn't a tour.
It wasn't
thing.
a group.
It
It's
was
the
just
three
me.
of us.
It was like if it was me and you. And Yvette was like, I never see Friday.
And he
I'm like,
balled
"Where is he
too."
Friday?
Yeah,
Is he
yeah,
Friday?
yeah.
Is he? That's crazy. And she
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But instead of, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So now she feeling like you embarrassing me in front of
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't understand that
No, if
dynamic.
it's us four, No, us and him.
Huh?
You
and
said,
you two are
And
I
they're,
get
and they're
it.
talking
To
about
me,
my height or something.
yes,
I'm sitting there like, well,
exactly.
y'all short too, so.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
To
Yeah.
me, the point was more about
Who you were doing it with.
Who we're doing it with.
Yeah, I get it now. But at the time, I was just like, man, we just having a good, because I don't mean anything by it.
Totally.
And I'm not even seeing that other woman. It's not even clicking.
Yeah.
That is not even like, what?
How did you
That's what I
respond?
meant by.
I was like,
Go ahead. Sorry. I was just going to say, but that's what I meant by making sure.
you said go ahead, and then you went ahead.
Okay, shush. But that's what I meant by she doesn't belong on the no-fly zone list.
Yeah.
That's the moment that I
Yeah.
have to take. It's not about her.
Yes.
It's about the scenario, which is a conversation I then have to have with my husband. It's not like, she tried it. I don't like her. No, it ain't that deep. It's not about her. It's
Yeah.
about this scenario, this situation, and it's a conversation that I have to have with my husband, because in reality, switch her out with any woman,
And it would've
and
been
I
the
don't
same
like
thing.
it.
Yeah.
So how did you respond?
So to her, I said, okay. Like, I didn't think of it like that. That wasn't my intention. It could have been her, and you, me, her, and her dad, Josh. It was just a funny scenario. But I wasn't thinking it like that. But a lot of times, we've been talking about this kind of over the last couple of weeks. You are responsible for your intention and your impact. So even if it wasn't my intention that you felt that way, that was still the impact that you felt. So I'm like, okay, I won't put you in that position again, because I know that that's how it makes you feel. And as married people, you love your your wife, husband. You also want to protect them and what's important to them. Even though I like being funny, I don't want to be funny at the expense of my wife in a way that makes her feel like she's the butt of my joke. You know, if nothing's that funny. You know what I mean? But had she not said anything, that moment would have never even crossed my mind as me and another woman. It was just funny.
And I would have been
Yeah.
harboring it.
And so I want to go back to that, because my initial question was, whose responsibility are our insecurities? Do you have something?
we got to wind down.
I know that's what I was
Okay.
going to say. And so I like what you said, because I feel like it is something where we have to take a self-assessment as to, like, is this something that is actually like this something that they can affect or change or impact, or is this something that I'm dealing with in and of myself? And so thank you for that story. That was actually a really
I
good.
think my thought on that is, it's kind of like a physical trainer. You know, my brother-in-law helps train me, right? Part of the work is him, okay, what do you want to work out on? Here's the workouts. Here's what you want to work. Here's what you do. But also, when we leave the gym, it's my responsibility to eat right. He can't do that part for me. And that's kind of how we work in a marriage. Like, I have my own responsibilities on eating right, which is a lot of the work. But then as my trainer, he helps me with other stuff, and we work together for the same goal. And that's kind of how I see the marriage thing. She has to do the no-fly zone part on her, but I don't have to add to her thing. Like, nah, girl, you tripping. It was just funny. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to add more of a wedge between both of us when it's not necessary. You know
And
what I'm
then
saying?
that's when you start looking at people cockeyed. So you feel that strong that she can't be on the no-fly zone list? Well, why? Well, what does she got? Well, what is she offering you that you still need to be talking to her? Well, why are you choosing her over me? And then that's how those narratives start, and you go down a whole rabbit hole, unnecessary.
Babe, how married are you?
You know what I'm going to say. Okay, so last night.
Oh, my
So, see, it always, So, yesterday, I was out, and Yvette's been talking about how she needs a new laptop. You know what I'm saying? So, I go to Best Buy, my place of preference. Go there, look at the laptops. It's a small one. You know what I'm saying? That's the type we can afford. And then it's a bigger one. Bitch, she got bad eyes. She can't see. You know what I'm saying? So I got her the bigger computer, and I was going to prank her. And I was going to, like, have this thing, like, get, like, some fake scratch or something and, like, scratch my laptop screen and be like, you broke my screen. See, da-da-da-da-da. And then give her a new laptop. You know what I'm saying? But she was so sick yesterday and, like, feeling terrible. It's like, I can't see. And my eyes, I think I'm dying. And
I tell y'all, having children, they suck it out.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but I'm going more blind.
So I just gave her the laptop. No prank. I gave her the 2019.
Sacrifice the joke.
Yeah, man.
For the love of your wife.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Babe,
right.
how married
That
are
was
you?
great.
I'm so married that I didn't say nothing. I held my tongue.
But you saying it now. What you finna say?
I know. I'm like, does this even count if I'm about to say?
Go ahead. Say what you gonna say.
So, you know how, like, you have things that you want to take care of around the house? but then like your husband, I don't know if this happens to y'all, but like you have something you want to do, you've been wanting to do for a long time, but then like the other person gets to it before you can get to it, and then when they're doing it, it's like, oh, it makes you cringe because they're not doing it right.
Yes, I'm familiar with that feeling of making the other person
trying
cringe.
to help out and serve, and you just get shot.
I'm so married that like the other day I came home, and mind you, I was gone for longer than I expected to be gone, but I came home and Glen was in the garage. And he was like organizing it so that we could park the car in the garage, which I've been wanting to park the car in the garage, and I've been wanting to organize the garage. We just moved into a house. And so I was watching him, and he like literally had a box where stuff was falling out of the bottom of it, but he just like shoved it onto the shelf. And I'm just inside. I'm like, okay, Yvette, he's trying to make space for the car. He's doing a good thing. Like, don't get on him right now because, you know. So I held my tongue and I didn't say anything because I knew if I said something in that moment,
I would have been discouraged.
You would have been so discouraged. You probably would have stopped.
Yeah.
And then it just, and I had already been gone. Like I was gone all day, and I didn't know I was gonna be gone all day. I was gone from like 8 to 3 o'clock, and he didn't say nothing. But that was nice.
Wow.
So, that was nice.
That was nice.
Yeah.
How married are you?
Kevin, how married are you? I'm so married that I'm allowing you to go first.
What do I do that was so married?
You mopped. I am so. Ask me so I can say it. So I can set you up.
Okay, go. You ask me.
No, you're supposed to ask him.
Me. No. Ask me so I can set myself up. I'm so married that I gave you the answer to this question before me.
Oh, brilliant.
How married are you, Kevin?
Melissa was gone. And I don't usually clean or cook. It's just don't do it.
Yeah, it's not your love language.
Not much. It ain't my thing. It's her. I try to do it to make her happy. She was gone getting her nails done or her hair done. Something that would take her away from the house for a long time.
I think it was nails because his hair ain't been done.
So I cleaned the kitchen and the house and mopped. And vacuumed. And then I couldn't find the mop. Like, I'm like, man, I know the mop was right here and the floor was dirty. Like, we had just had a party and the floor was dirty. And I couldn't find the mop. And when the whole house is clean, the floor is not mopped, it just looks like nothing was done.
I feel you.
So I'm so married that I got down on my hands and knees and wiped the floor by my hand.
Wow.
Because we didn't have a mop.
The
tune that when Melissa got home, she thought she cleaned the kitchen.
I did.
She's like, man, girl, you really on top of it. You cleaned the whole kitchen and mopped.
I did.
She just imagined the whole cleaning session?
She imagined that she cleaned her own kitchen.
Literally what happened
wow,
was
you
I
cleaned
was
it like
yeah, he did a great job. So I was
didn't even think about
coming
that.
home
That's gotta be a compliment.
from soccer practice, and while I'm at soccer practice or coming home from soccer
It was
practice,
soccer practice.
I was recounting my to-do list. So I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. Top of my to-do list was clean the kitchen, mop the floor. Top of the to-do list. But I get so busy, so when I got home, I was like, girl, you did this before you left. You are out here.
Wow.
Like, you forgot that you did. Like, you are so good that you cleaned
You know
this
what?
and then forgot that you did it. You are out here. You're out here.
Yes. If you did it where she thought she did it, then you
That's
did a
amazing.
good job.
That is a good compliment.
That
And I
is
had got dinner made. Because the thing was, I was exhausted. I had been traveling and performing and doing podcasts. So she took JoJo to soccer, and she was like, you just lay down. Like, I know you're tired. And I got it. I'll take care of everything when I got home. And that was my intention. But then I was like, man, this whole house is dirty, and I know it's important to her. And I got dinner.
Wow.
She thought I forgot dinner. Mm-hmm. And I got from Salsa and Beer, Josh. I got y'all. Salsa and Beer, dinner hot when you got home, kitchen clean, floor mopped by hand.
I was happy.
That's amazing.
That is impressive.
See, when you never clean, when you do it, they were like, dang, you really love me.
So clean less, and then you'll get. Okay, I got it.
That's the lesson here.
Clean less. So when you clean anytime, it's more.
All right.
So we usually end the podcast by saying, and that's just how married we are. So if you guys don't mind, we would like to say that together in
Let's do it.
unison, and we'll wrap up.
Okay.
And that's just how married we are.
I said it wrong.
It's all right. It's great.
Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
And just that how